think third probably is obviously the priority to try and maybe get into Europa League.
Realistic or a bit pessimistic?
No, I think I can see what Sean's come from. I've said many times on the show that since the pre-season started, I think we give up too many chances. Even go back to Arthur's game last week, there was about 4 or 5 chances in that. So I'm a little bit concerned about Bodo Glimt. That was one of the reasons for me, because home and away we didn't learn. And I know Celtic were always one of these teams. I played in the game that 5-4. You know what I mean? So
who was that against?
Partizan.
Of course, yeah.
I came off
team, wasn't
it? That's right. After the game, I didn't know whether they were through out, whatever. Just a silence in the stadium. I didn't know. We were rushing to take a throw in the last kick, and they score for it.
We were on the radio trying to keep up with it.
But that's what I'm saying. So that was the Celtic way. But I agree. I think the first home game is so important, because if you get off to a good start in the Champions League, that's massive. If you don't get that good start, you're playing catch up, and you have to come out. And I think we have to be better defensively. I think the team's been excellent, and I know the manager's one of these guys that want to go and attack, and the best form of defence is attack at times. But these teams are so clinical and so quick now in the front line. They know how to hurt you, and Bodo done that. So I'm hoping the manager and that's learnt from that. And that's why I still think that maybe will he adjust his system? I don't think he will. I think sometimes in Europe he could go and play with the 3 central defenders, and maybe that's why he's overloading with central defenders. They're thinking, well, we can fill the gap, still play with the full backs coming in, but maybe go with an extra defender. He may do that. He's never done that so far, but that's tactically something that I think Van Bronckhorst has done very well. Especially in Europe. Not actually playing the full game that way, but being able to slip someone back in and drop them back in.
Depends what the score is.
Absolutely.
So, what you need to do.
And I think Celtic maybe need to do that, because it's proven it's not been good enough. And over the years, whatever team you have, because we've always went. I used to play in a team that played with 2 wingers out in the touchline in Europe. We had 2 number 9s. So I know how difficult it was. We hardly won a game away from home and hardly get beat at home.
It was a fortress, wasn't it? At home?
It was funny.
Let's check with Scotland's top pundit. James, can we get him on the lighter marks here? Mark, what do you think? Can they? Are they? It doesn't matter whether they adapt or what. Can they do? Can they come third, for example?
Two parts to it for me. First of all, if you think back to when Celtic started, progressing after Christmas under Martin O'Neill, we'll go back over 20 years. And then Gordon Strachan kicked it on as well and get into the last 16. It was about what they managed to do at Parkhead. Beating Man United at Parkhead, beating you at different things. So then, and you try and nick a point away from home, that gives you a fighting chance. Remember under Martin O'Neill, Celtic get 9 points, didn't they get through? Some teams have got through in the last 16 with 7 points.
Was that the Juve year?
Yeah, it was when they beat Juve 4-3. Chris Sutton's
yeah.
magnificent goal that night. Lubo Moravcik was on fire. So you think of that. So first and foremost, Celtic need to get back to making Parkhead a fortress. How they do that, I don't know. But if you're going to, I wouldn't agree with Sean in terms of the campaign's a write-off. Depending on the draw, then I think finishing second would be a major bonus. But certainly finishing third and staying in Europe has got to be achievable. That's got to be the aim, the minimum aim. And to do that, you need to do well at home. The second part is, I think Ange Postecoglou kind of feels that the way that he plays is the way they play every week. It's the way they train every day, regardless of the opposition, home or away, domestic or in Europe. And I think he thinks if you make drastic changes, why? Because you're maybe only getting 2 sessions to work on it. So why not just try and be as good as you can be in the system that they play and work on every day? That said, it was always a bugbear of mine under Brendan Rodgers, who was the same and got a couple of batterings, PSG and Barcelona.
I remember.
And I don't know what Peter thinks about it now, but just sometimes with Brendan, and it'll be the same with Postecoglou's team. See, every now and again there is no harm in Rose Ed in it, and just getting your shape back and just taking a breath. And sometimes I think under Brendan Rodgers, Celtic's team, there wasn't enough desire at defending. I thought they were just a wee bit laxed, a wee bit, I wanted to see more aggression in their defending, and just sometimes leather the ball. Just leather it rather than taking a gamble. But I know that they're instructed not to do that, and I get it. But it really annoys me when you see teams, whether it's Celtic or any other team, conceding goals by messing about at the back.
Get it in Rose Ed, Peter.
Well, that's why I'm saying
you did that a few times.
I was trying to find my own teammate. But the biggest thing for me is people, when you mention a 3 at the back, people think that's defensive. But if you play, Celtic are playing with 2 at the back at this moment in time. The goalkeeper straight him up to be the third player at this moment in time. And you've got to be very, very good to do that. It's okay, Manchester City at this moment in time, no disrespect, they're on a different level, and they've been caught out with it. They've not won the Champions League, so it's all right saying they've spent the most money, but they've not won the Champions League because they lose goals to teams who, like Mbappe playing against you, whatever, great pace. And you'll find that in the Champions League, most of the teams have got that nowadays, so they can hurt you. Celtic's imbalance is They've not got a left-sided centre back. They don't have a natural left footer on the left-hand side of the pitch. So sometimes you can still go forward, but having the three at the back, especially away from home, I think could give you a wee bit of balance.